You are working on software training to help users getting started with the business tools they need, but you don't know where to begin and what your training should look like. Here are 4 easy steps for you to build the right training on any kind of software. In your organization, there's probably a huge amount of enterprise software like SAP, Salesforce or Oracle, collaboration tools like Jira, Teams or Slack, and even single-purpose apps to simply book a meeting room or a business trip. The range of tools that are used in companies is ever increasing, so how do you teach it? When I got started as an IT trainer, I had to think over and over how to build training on different kinds of software from scratch. It was especially difficult for me to identify that topics I should cover and separate them from those that are irrelevant to the user. Over time, I realized that my most effective training courses had 4 sequences, and it became much easier for me to develop content that way. So how can you get started? First thing your users need to understand is the big picture about the systems they have to work with. What is the overall purpose of the software you are training, like performance, stability or new features? What does the end-to-end process look like? Which teams are involved? And where does your software fit in? At this point, you also want to make clear how incidents and support are handled, and where to find the user documentation when people get stuck. If your users have to work with data that comes from other systems, you also want to describe how that information is transferred, so they know how to trace corrupt data. Learning objectives your audience needs to achieve in this section of the training are to describe what the new software is doing and whatnot, to compare the legacy process with the new one, and to identify error sources in the data flow from other systems. To generate that system overview, you should get in touch with your IT management and IT support teams. Next, you want your users to zoom in and learn about the data they'll have to work with in the new system. This often means they need to learn new vocabulary, which tends to be uncomfortable to most people. You can help your audience with that adoption by comparing the legacy concepts they were already used to with the new ones they'll have to learn. What is the definition of a certain data reference? How does it differentiate from data your audience used in the past? How can I find that data in the system? Learning objectives your audience needs to achieve in this section of the training are to define important data, to compare legacy references with new ones, and to look up data in the system. Now your users are well prepared to learn about the processes they'll have to carry out. How do I get access to the system and make sure I have all the authorizations I need? How do I create new business data? How do I change data? And how do I react to business events and problems? Learning objectives your audience needs to achieve in this section of the training are to access the software and request roles they need for their day-to-day work, to perform all the relevant business processes, and to identify error sources in the data flow from other systems. Finally, your users want to learn about reportings so they can see relevant business results and figures in the software. How can I see my current workload? How can I track my performance? How do I analyze quality and how can I clarify problems? Learning objectives your audience needs to achieve in this section are to look up, for example, today's team performance and upcoming workload, to analyze data quality, and to take all the steps to trace and resolve common problems. Now it's your turn. Think about the last time you had to explain software to others. How would you apply the 4 steps of system, data, process and reporting? Let me know what you think and share your ideas in the comments.